Welcome to True Crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. What's going on, guys? Hope everybody's having a great week so far. I got my new mic stand. I think it's much better than the one I had before. It's going to show more of my outfit when I decide to put on the suits when we're talking about very serious topics. You guys know you got to dress to impress, and your dress shows how serious you are about a topic. So I want to definitely say I'm taking this topic very seriously today. All right, very, very seriously. But today's a very busy morning for me. Had to take my son to school. I got to get ready for work. So please excuse my appearance. But today is a very serious topic, and we're just going to talk about it very quickly. We're laser focused today on this topic. All right, we're not going to veer off. This is not going to be a long live. It's going to be a short live where we're going to just talk about this situation where it seems like every recorded video we're getting of Jen Soto with police is resulting in them asking about her menstrual. Very interesting stuff here. They're constantly asking about her menstrual. I don't know, but we're going to talk about it, all right? That being said, guys, I want you guys to make sure you understand that the full show will be on Sunday. My vacation starts this weekend, so we will be doing the live show this Sunday, and we're going to analyze the first interview that was released yesterday by the docket. He released 2 interviews. One is very clear, where tons of probative information is shared. The second one is a little less clear because they're in a car, they're driving, etc. We'll analyze that on a separate video. It's just so much to cover. We can't jam pack it in one show. So ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that your notifications are all set to all. And you guys are tuning in on Sunday, and Sunday will be our call-in show. So big shout out to everybody who's joining me today. Thank you so much for supporting and loving the Strategic Eyes Show. Please know the Strategic Eyes Show does love you in return, and you guys are the most important people to me right now at this moment, because you are supporting me on this journey to spread awareness for victims and to be a voice for the voiceless. Ladies and gentlemen, we've spoken about pregnancy before. We've spoken about it. We theorized about the possibility that Madeline Soto, A, was pregnant, or B, that they believe she was pregnant. Big shout out to V Radio, longtime supporter and collaborator in the past. Definitely, V Radio got mad love for you, my brother. He says, dawg, I feel so important. What's happening, brother? Hope all has been well with you, man. But we spoke about A, that she was pregnant, or B, that they believe she was pregnant. And it's possible that the reason why she's not with us right now is because they believe that she was pregnant. And as we said before, even if she was not physically pregnant, but Stephen Stearns and Jen Soto believe she was pregnant, and that's the reason why, or one of the reasons why, in addition to our other theory of jealousy, I think you know there's always more than one way to the finish line. And sometimes it's a combination of things. And I broke it down for you guys on that show, Jealousy. Go check out the Jealousy show. Go check out the Pregnancy show. I broke it down how his demeanor changed during the interview when he spoke about her crushes. We were one of the first on the internet to talk about that, crushes. Her demeanor changed, or rather his demeanor changed when he spoke about her crushes to law enforcement. To law enforcement, ladies and gentlemen. We spoke about how when he was talking to her the night before, and allegedly he supposedly invited her to the birthday party. I'm sorry. I'm getting, guys, easy on the text messages. There's nothing I could do about that. But it really distracts me. So only keep it for emergency stuff. I'm sorry, guys. I really hate to do that, but I have to. All right. Even when they spoke the night before, in terms of him coming to the birthday party, well, guess what? He was upset. He was angry. And then so was Maddie. She was upset and she was angry too. So there's a multiple different paths to get to that finish line of murder. And I'm thinking that pregnancy has one thing to do with it, and jealousy. So now I want to go ahead and play these two clips. And these two clips, one is going to be from the April 18th interview, and the other one is going to be from the February 29th interview. And what I want to do is I want to play them in chronological order because we've been receiving them out of order. Play them in chronological order so you could see, ladies and gentlemen, you're hearing it from Strategic Eyes. Every single pivotal interview, one a voluntary interview, the other one a compelled interview. They're all asking her about pregnancy, ladies and gentlemen. Why is that? Why is that happening? Because it's probative. Because the police have information. They have information that is leading them in that direction. And like the docket and Plunder and GHI and all these people and Grizzly True Crime and all these people who are getting this information, getting these FOIA requests in their own, sometimes together, sometimes by themselves. It doesn't matter. It's all enriching this community, this true crime community. So God bless those people because they're doing God's work. They're all telling us that their contacts in these police departments, in the sheriff's department, in the Kissimmee Police Department, they're being advised, the district attorney, the county attorney, they're advising these YouTubers that there's more information to come. That we have not collectively as this true crime community received all of the evidence that is available. For all we know, there may be text messages that have not been released yet, social media messages and posts that have not been released yet, where pregnancy is the topic of the conversation. If you don't believe, or if you don't think, rather, that there's a strategy to them releasing this stuff, you are mistaken. There's nothing in the law that says they have to release the information in this order, in this time, etc. There's the law that says this is Sunshine State and you have to release this stuff. You have to comply with the FOIA request unless you could go to a judge and prove that this thing should not be released for whatever reason, maybe endanger somebody's life or whatever. You still might have to release it, but you might have to redact the entire document. That's possible. That's legal. For all we know, we might have received the information already and it's redacted. It's been blocked out, so we don't know the nature of the conversation for whatever document that this may be that might have the pregnancy information. We don't know. It might also be redacted because the pregnancy is involving a minor, and therefore, since that pregnancy belonged to the minor, they're redacting it. We might have already had that document in our hands, but it's redacted. And they redacted it so much that we can't even see that it's even talking about pregnancy. But these police officers have some type of information that keeps bringing them back to pregnancy, ladies and gentlemen. That information exists. It exists, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to explore that right now. Well, and in all fairness and in all accuracy, I have no evidence that it exists, but I believe that it exists. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong and I'll correct myself. But there's no reason why. I don't want to talk too so sure that you guys are like, oh, it must be out there. You know, Strategic says it's out there. I want to be clear. I don't know that it exists. I have not seen it. But all the evidence and a line of questioning that they're engaging in is leading me to believe that they have seen something, heard something, read something, examined a report of something that's making them believe that this is a probative question to ask. Are you tracking her period? Before I jump into some audio recording, because I'm going to play a snippet from both the 229 interview that's brought to us by Plunder, Paula Mooney. I'm a Patreon of hers. The audio is available to all Patreon members included in that Patreon monthly fee, please consider joining her Patreon and, of course, subscribing to her channel. And the first place that I heard this audio was on the Docket's channel. Big shout out to the Docket. I went into his comment section, told him how happy I was that he's bringing us this information in conjunction with GHI and Plunder. And the Docket gave me a really nice shout out and was like, yo, everybody go over to Strategic's channel and subscribe to his channel. So thank you so much, Docket, for showing me that love and being so gracious and kind to me. And definitely for all of you fine people, please go support Docket, Plunder, and GHI. And it's almost more important than supporting my show. And I'm not going to go off on a tangent like I like to do, but it's almost more important than supporting me right now at this moment, because I'm not bringing you these, I don't have the money and the capital and the resources to bring you this audio. They do. So by supporting them, they get the resources to bring you that stuff that I can now react to. So please go support their channels. So that being said, let's jump into this. Let's jump into this. All right. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. I apologize. We did a poll on the Strategiceyes show. And let me go ahead and pull this poll up real quick. Did a poll on Strategiceyes about tracking pregnancies. I want to tell you the results of that poll. So in this poll, I said, in the Madeline Soto case, is it normal for parents or mothers to track their teenage girl's menstrual cycle? Now, I believe that this poll is flawed, and it's my fault. It's flawed. And the reason why it's flawed is because I should have put the caveat in there, that if the child does not have any medical issues related to their menstrual cycle, if they do not have any medical issues related to their menstrual cycle, all right? I did not say that in this poll, so there might be some people who said yes because they fall in that category, and that is their reality, and unless I give them an out, they're going to choose yes. But even that being said, 25% says yes. 60% says no. 16% says I don't know. So then vast majority says this is not normal to track your child's menstrual cycle. People in the comment section says, yes, it's normal if your child is sexually active and you feel that they're a little irresponsible and you want to make sure that, you know, they don't get pregnant and that they're taking care of themselves. Other people, of course, in the comment section says yes if the child is having issues related to their menstrual cycle, but the vast majority in the comment section and also in the poll said no. So then I went to mommy. Oh, big shout out to whoever gave me a $10 super chat, or looked like we got 5 from V Radio. Longtime friend of the show. We love you and we appreciate you, V Radio. Go check out V Radio's channel as well. He talks politics and stuff like that. So if you're into politics, go check out V Radio. He's a really nice guy, and his heart is in the right place, and he just wants this country to be a better version than what it is. But check him out. V Radio, big shout out to you. Wendy Williams gave me a $5 super chat and says, y'all, what a S show Judas Jen Soto is. Wow, I like that. Judas Jen Soto. Love and respect to TCWSC. That's my new name. Okay. We'll take that. We'll own it. And the mods. Appreciate you, Wendy Williams. Let's keep going. We also have 2 new subscribers to the channel. We had Stephanie, blah, 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 who's now a recruit. And we have Vanny, who's also now a recruit. Thank you so much, guys, for joining the channel and supporting the Strategiceyes show. Let's keep going. And the bot is working. We got some complaints that the bot wasn't working. The bot is working. So that is great. Let me scroll down. All right, back to work here. Back to work. Back to work. So I went to mommy and I said, Mom, talking about my wife. She's mommy. When you have 3 kids, you deserve to be called mommy, regardless of who is calling you mommy, including me. And I went to mommy and I said, Mommy, do you track our girls' menstrual cycle? So I have 3 women in the house, 3 little women in the house who are menstruating right now. And I said, Mommy, do you track our girls' menstrual cycle? And she said, no, they track their own cycle. You know, they know when they're getting their periods. And we always have enough stuff in the house for them to use. We're always stocked up. So there's no need. And so I kind of agree with that. When I go upstairs into the bathroom that they use, because I don't use the bathroom that they use, and I go in the cabinets, because we keep like the back stock of the toothpaste and stuff in that bathroom because there's more cabinets. When I go in into, because maybe I ran out of toothpaste in my bathroom downstairs, all I see is like at least 2-3 packets, the full big packets like this, of female sanitary napkins. Snake Crack Pop, $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Says, do you think he unaliving or willing drugging Jen? I'm a little confused with it. I'm not trying to be funny. We have people from different cultures, countries, English not their first language. So if it's hard for me to understand a message, that's no knack on a person who's showing me love and watching my show. I just don't get it. So you might want to clarify. You don't have to send another super chat because you already sent one. Just clarify, and my mods will see that you sent that, and they will make it big for me, and I will try and answer it. Let me read it one more time. Do you think he unwilling or willing drugging Jen? Okay. Do I think that he's drugging Jen? I don't know. I think Jen was drugging herself. I think Jen was drugging herself. So I don't know. I think Jen was drugging herself. So I hope that answers your question. I think Jen was drugging herself. I don't think she needed him to drug her. I think she wanted to sleep. She wanted to be in an altered state of mind. That's why she was so hard up and intoxicated with her medications, her medical regimens, and marijuana. And there's no knack or on anybody who indulges in marijuana and all that stuff. I can't use that stuff because of my occupation, but I also have no desire to alter my state of mind. It's not, to me, it's a sign of weakness. Now, some of you in the chat are going to say, screw you, Strategic, I'm out of here. You got a problem with marijuana. I don't have a problem with it. I'm certainly okay with them decriminalizing this stuff because we shouldn't be sending people to jail for gajillion years over this stuff. But I'm not into the altered state of mind. And that's what she was doing. She didn't need Stefan to alter her state of mind. She did it on her own. Big shout out to Life Mosaic, inspiring your best self. Welcome to the recruit level. Appreciate you. Big shout out to Snap Crackle Pop, who's also a recruit. I guess I was nice to you. I appreciate you. Thank you for supporting the channel with a super chat and also with a membership. You are amazing, Snap Crackle Pop. Big shout out to LG Rescues with a $10 super chat saying, great job. Thank you. Appreciate you. Really appreciate all the support I'm getting in this channel right now. Thank you so much, guys. We need the support. We love the support. We really appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I kind of agree with Mommy, guys, that you don't really need to track your child's menstrual cycle unless you have a reason to. If you have a reason to, you're going to do it. We're parents. That's our job. We're here to take care of our kids. But primarily, women and even some men, but mostly women, track their cycles. Why? 2 big reasons. Big shout out to Irish Girl with a 1-person gift membership. Thank you so much, little Irish Girl. What are the 2 reasons that women and even sometimes men track their menstrual? Pregnancy or health? San Scorpio with a $2 super sticker. Thank you, San Scorpio. Nicole F said it. SEX and pregnancy. But I'm going to add one more thing. Health. Health. So if Maddie did not have a condition, Olga P. King says ovulation. Thank you for the SAT word. You're 1,000% correct. If Maddie did not have any issues with her menstruation, if she was not currently seeing a gynecologist or endocrinologist because the chemical imbalances in her body or Her psychiatrist was saying that some of these drugs she's taking is going to mess with her menstrual. If these things didn't exist, there was no reason to track Madeline Soto's menstrual. Why? Because mommy tried to make Madeline look very irresponsible. During that interview, that bombshell interview last night, she's like, when they're like, why are you always making excuses? Oh, I'm only making excuses because we're all bipolar, we're all ADHD, we're all depressed, we're all on disability, we're all everything. And I just want to give you an example, and we're all forgetful. That's a big one. So I'm just trying to tell you that we all suffer from the exact same conditions at the exact same time, in the exact same place, in the exact same spot in the universe. So you understand why I can't tell you the answers to your questions, officer, and why my daughter can't tell you because she's dead, and why my boyfriend can't tell you because we all suffer from the same issues. Big shout out with a $5 super sticker from Kem Millward. Thank you so much, Kem. You are amazing. She tried to make Maddie look like she was, like we say in the islands, a dundu. That's my mother tongue right there. U.S. Virgin Islands, big up. Big up, U.S. Virgin Islands. We call them a dundu in my mother tongue. That means you're stupid. That means you can't tell your left from your right foot. That means you're not responsible. She tried to make Maddie look like a dundu. But what type of dundu would this little girl be when she's tracking her own cycle with her friends? Remember with the interview with the friends? The friend said, me and Maddie track our cycles. We get our periods together. So it's not even like she's dealing with a little girl who can't track her own cycle. A little girl that is going to forget that her period is coming and have an accident in school where now she's, need a change of clothes or need to go home early. That wasn't Madeline Soto. Like I told you guys from the get, this little girl probably had no mental illnesses. She had no cognitive issues. She was living a life of trauma. And every single thing she did, quote unquote, wrong was as a result of that trauma. Was her mind and her psyche trying to cope with the horror that was her life. Big shout out to Sunny Lynn with a $5 super chat says, MS stopped here, Marilax. May have thought she looked pregnant in the mirror, just constipated. It's stress, Madeline Soto, which changes cycles, and MS told SS on Saturday. It's possible. I know I read the abbreviation instead of reading out the names, but she basically said that Madeline Soto thought that she was pregnant probably from looking in the mirror because she was constipated and bloated, and then she probably told Stephen Stearns, hey, I think I might be pregnant because my period is late and I'm getting fatter, and then he's stressed out. He comes over and takes her life. It's possible. It's a good theory. It's a good theory. Big shout out to Sally Curran with a $1.99 super sticker. Thank you so much. $4.99 super chat from Lee Marie Rose. She said, what if she isn't guilty of anything and realized the police were trying to pin the murder on her? That's why she lawyered up. I don't put her getting a lawyer synonymous with guilt. Because once you're in the situation she is, you need to get a lawyer. Even if you are innocent, you need to get a lawyer. Once the police go from, okay, the last time you saw your daughter was at this time, okay, we're moving on and trying to figure out where she's at. Once they're hammering you on timelines and stuff like that, beyond that first interview, you should go get a lawyer. As a law enforcement person, I'm telling you it is your constitutional right, and I'm not offended when you get a lawyer. And I also don't assume that you're guilty when you get a lawyer. I assume that you understand your rights and you are availing yourself of your rights. But what you're saying could possibly be true. It's another interesting theory. But for me, lawyer with her or anyone else is not synonymous with guilt. Big shout out to Elena Christine. $2 super chat says Disney employees been involved in human trafficking. Got you. That's a different topic, different space. We're talking about this little girl right now. But appreciate you, though. This little girl was tracking her own cycle. She was tracking her own cycle. She did not need mommy to track her cycle. She did not need mommy to remind her to put a pad in the bag because the beginning of the month is coming and you might start to spot. She didn't need that. No little girl needs that. Because for a little girl, and I'm speaking out of turn because I'm not a female, but I am a girl dad for a while until my little Hercules hero came into my life. I was just a girl dad for many years. The most embarrassing thing that can happen to a little girl is an accident happens and it comes before she realizes it. And now she's got a situation where she's got to leave school early, or she's got to go to the bathroom, she's got to clean herself up, etc. Maddie was on top of this. She may have forgot her phone sometimes, if you want to believe mommy. She may have forgot to fold her clothes and clean up her room. Even though when we looked at those crime scene photos, Jen's room was a hot mess. She was a dirty, messy person. But she's complaining about Madeline Soto cleaning her room. She may have been all those things, but she was tracking her cycle, and not only was she tracking it herself, but she had a friend that helped her track it. A friend that even spoke to her about her cycle coming late. That's how in tune they were with each other. That's how close they were, that when Maddie's cycle came late in January, the friend actually called her out, like, did you get your cycle? What's going on? What's up? What's happening? Unfortunately, that friend didn't have the opportunity to bring it to her attention again in February when that cycle didn't come at all because Stephen Stern killed her. Let me go to the comment section one more time. Well, it's not going to be for the last time. Big shout out to support with Steffa, who's now a patrol member. That's a higher level of the membership, and you get exclusive content that the recruits do not get. The recruits do get love, don't get me wrong, but when you're paying a little higher, you deserve more value. So absolutely, you get even more. You're going to see more exclusive content by being a recruit, a patrol member. So congratulations, Steffa. Big shout out to Eleanor Christine, who's now a recruit. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Nicole F. with a $4.99 super chat says, keep doing what you do. Love the insight and knowledge you bring to this case. Your background at LE takes it to the next level. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And guys, we're going to be talking about other things as well, but I want the audience to understand this thing, and hopefully I won't have to keep saying it. There's not many people complaining about it, so we'll keep doing what we do. But because I am so busy, I don't have time to study and engross myself in other topics the way other YouTubers can do, where they can drop you a multitude of different crime stories. Because I'm so busy, I have to laser focus on one topic at a time. And we're focusing on Madeline Soto. And when we're done with this case, or when this case gets quiet, we'll start focusing on a different case. But we do drop other shows that are very successful. We covered 3 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, a transgendered a transgendered woman who was a father before transitioning, who molested their three children, and now has 87 years in prison. That video's gone viral. That video's approaching 50,000 views. So the Strategic Eyes show is not a one-trick pony. But we're going to cover this because it matters, because we want to bring awareness to this beautiful girl who has yet to get justice, and I only have but so much time in a day. So I'm going to focus on a story that I'm passionate about. And when this one has been settled and my spirit can rest because she's gotten the justice that she deserves, we'll move on to the next victim whose voice needs to be heard. All right. That's what we do on the Strategic Eyes show. We're laser focused. I am a specialist in my day job. So I bring that same proficiency to YouTube. We focus on cases here. We're going to focus on these cases. We're going to dive into them. We're going to explore them. And we're going to be a voice for the voiceless. Let's keep going. Big shout out to you, Nicole. Thank you so much. All right. Let's keep going. So I'm going to play this audio for you guys. Let's start with 2/29/2024. Check this one out.
With Maddie. Never. Okay. Did she disclose to you about her, has she had a period yet? Do you know?
Yeah.
Did she disclose to you about that?
Yes.
So do you know her?
All right, stop it right here real quick. I just got to address this. Olga P. King is on fire right now. She says, yes, the Woody Allen situation said it all. She knew all along. You know, Strategic is all over that. We're going to talk about that on Sunday. Make sure you guys join me Sunday when we go live for our weekly live show on Sunday. We're going to talk about the Woody Allen effect. That blew my mind, ladies and gentlemen, because once again, that made me believe that she either knew or she thought it could happen, and that still shows her complicity, and it shows that she was negligent. But let's keep going. Back on the period. Let's do it.
Her regular
cycle? I usually put it, she usually tells me when she gets it, and we put it in an app. I must have missed it this month, or she must have not told me this month when she got it, but I have it written down when she got it back in January.
When should she have had it this month, roughly?
The beginning of the month. She got it January 1st. So it should have been around the end of February.
First January, 1st of February?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And was she pretty consistent on telling you?
Yeah, she would tell me when she would get her period. And then she'd actually also tell me every time she used the restroom. Like, Mom, success, I pooped. And I'm like, cool. Because she's got GI issues.
And she didn't tell you.
And that maybe I could believe, because if she's having bowel movement issues, and and she's taking medication for it, and I could see her letting her mother know, hey, the medication is working. But I also have another working theory about this whole bowel movement thing. I think the injuries that I think we're going to find in the autopsy when we listen to it during the trial, if they broadcast the trial, which I hope to God that they do, because we deserve to hear the truth, even though I know in my spirit it's not going to go to trial. Stephen Stearns is going to plead guilty, and that's just going to be the end of it. The only way it's going to go to trial is if Stephen Stearns wants to plead guilty and the district attorney is like, screw you, I want to kill you. If the district attorney is like, I want to kill you, we're going to, for the death penalty, it's personal, I need you off this planet, then we'll go to trial, because they won't want to do a deal with him for life in prison. But Stephen Stearns wants to live. Stephen Stearns already acclimating himself with his root beer barrels and his cream, his peach soda, and all the stuff that he's eating in the commissary or the drunk. He's eating the same junk that he was eating on the streets. And I'm going to tell you something about guys like Stephen Stearns. From my experience working, remember, not only have I worked in law enforcement for many years as a police officer and an investigator, I also worked in the prison system. For 12 years, I worked in the prison systems. Don't ever forget that, guys. So I dealt with these prisoners. I know how they think. Before I get into it, I just want to acknowledge Fior Schreidner says, much love to you with a $2 super, $2.50 super sticker and the pounds. Thanks for your work from Berlin. Thank you. Not pounds, I guess from Germany. Sorry. Frank, from the Frank. Well, I don't know. Whatever they do in Germany in currency, that's where it came from. Thank you. Appreciate you. I worked in the prison system. Stephen Stearns already has an incarcerated mindset, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to acclimate in prison perfectly fine. This is a person that has never held responsibility. This is a person who has lived off of other people his entire life. He's never been an adult. So he's going to fit right in where CO's telling him when he wakes up, when he goes to sleep. He's going to fit right in with his mommy and his daddy and some crazed chick who's going to probably start corresponding with him and say she fall in love with him and send him money every single month. There's all these crazy people who will get with these murderers when they're in prison. When they're sending him money, he's used to that. He's used to getting money from mommy and daddy. He's used to getting money from scrupulous women. He's used to that stuff. This is in his element. He's used to other people providing him a roof for him to sleep underneath. Except this time it's going to be a state. It's going to be a taxpayer supplying him that roof. He's in his element, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to be fine incarcerated. He's the actual act of being incarcerated. Now, will inmates give him a hard time? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But him actually being incarcerated with his antisocial personality, he's going to be fine. He's okay. He's not suffering. You can even tell that from the emails. He's like base level complaining. He's not in a state of despair when you read his emails that were released a couple weeks back. So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Keep that in mind, but let's keep going.
About this last cycle.
No.
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 Do you find that odd? January 1st of February?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And was she pretty consistent on telling you?
Yeah, she would tell me when she would get her period. And then she'd actually also tell me every time she used the restroom. Like, Mom, success, I pooped. And I'm like, cool. Because she's got GI issues.
And she didn't tell you about this last cycle?
No.
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 Do you find that odd?
Yes. Now that you're bringing it up, yes.
Would there be obvious signs when she's on her cycle? As far as like certain products she might use?
Yeah, her pads.
Mm-hmm.
The pads she would use. I would get her a box about every 2 cycles or so.
What's up, guys? Sorry about that. I was reading something. The chat is going crazy. Somebody said, are you good, Strategic? I don't know if I was looking around crazy, but I have like 3 screens. One is here, one is here, one is here with different information. So sometimes my eyes shoot around to these different screens to be able to run this show. I'm doing it by myself. But what caught me off guard is in the chat, somebody said that the docket just dropped new documents. And they didn't elaborate on what those documents are. Maybe they didn't see them. So immediately my brain is like, what? New documents? Like, oh my God, I got to see what the hell is going on here. I'm interested into what those new documents say. So it is what it is. But the point in you listening to this one, guys, and I'll let it finish out so we could go to the next audio. This is in February. Maddie hasn't been found yet. She hasn't been found. Stephen Stearns is in jail right now for the essay that was found on his phone. Big shout out to Nita Drew, who's now a recruit member. Thank you, Nina, for joining the family. But even though she hasn't been found, they're asking him, Jen, about pregnancy, basically, about her menstrual. That means that they got some information that's not on her body, that's not through an autopsy, because they don't have that body right now. They've got that information that's leading them there. But listen, a lot of people were angry about me talking about this word that's behind me right now, pregnancy. To them, it was blasphemy for me, a law enforcement person who investigates these type of cases, to theorize about pregnancy, because I'm supposed to be held to the same standard as their morality, even though I have to ask these questions as a condition of me doing what I do. And I'm just bringing you the same energy to YouTube that we bring in those back rooms when we're investigating these cases. That's all I'm doing. I'm just giving you a sneak peek into how we do business, right? So that being said, right, they got some information, I'm telling you, in my opinion, that this was relevant. But if you just heard this one interview in chronological order, you could say, Strategic, maybe it was just a question, man. Maybe it was just a question, Strategic. That's it. But if it's just a question, why 2 months later did they ask this all over again? 2 months later, they asked this all over again.
Going out and buying the products that she would need if she had her period, right? You would have to do that for her? Mm-hmm. Is that a yes?
Yes.
So do you remember her using any of those products at all in February? Because I assume you take the trash out, or does she take the trash out, or how does all this work?
I take the trash out.
All right, I want to bring that a little bit further, and while I'm doing that, I want to acknowledge the super chat that I missed. Little Irish girl with a $5 super chat says, do you think Ellie gave Jen a proffer partly to trip her up? Thanks. You don't give proffers to trip people up. You don't give proffers to trip people up. You don't play with proffers because this is like a last-ditch effort. If you play with proffers, then attorneys are not going to allow their clients to participate in proffers. And, of course, a proffer is just a generalized term for, having that conversation, which is some form of immunity, whether it's going to be, derivative use immunity or transactional immunity. It could be either one of those. The proffer covers both of those. But you don't play games with those. You don't play chess with a proffer, as in, psych, I'm taking it back, or psych, we just wanted you to trip us so we can actually charge you. You don't do that because your word is everything. And if it gets out that county attorneys, district attorneys, federal prosecutors are playing with proffers and they're just really using it to get more evidence to actually charge you, nobody would agree with them because, as I told you, it's saying this is a compelled interview, which it is. But you don't go to that compelled interview unless you agreed to it. Because if you go to the compelled interview and you don't agree to the proffer, then you could plead the fifth and they cannot hold it against you. When you go to a proffer, you can't plead the fifth because you've been given immunity. So there's no point in somebody compelling you to come to an interview without immunity because you'll just say, I plead the fifth because of self-incrimination. Now, somebody else asked a really good question inside of the chat that I wanted to get back to, where I don't see the chat. I mean, I didn't save it, of course not, so I have to paraphrase it. But they're like, well, what charges does Stephen Stearns have right now that's related to a pregnancy? I've been saying this from day one. It's not a slight against the person who made that comment. It's a good comment. It's a good question. But I've been saying this since we started talking about this pregnancy theory. Remember, it's still a theory. And people make fun of me when I say theory. I am from New York, okay? That's how we talk. But don't get it twisted. College educated man, very successful. Do not try and play me. All right, just joking. All right. But it's just a theory, okay? It's just a theory. But they don't have to charge him right now. They could always re-indict him and add additional charges. They have up until the trial to do that. In fact, Florida law says that you could charge it separately and give a separate trial if you wanted to. When I looked at my interpretation of the law, but you guys are acting like this guy's going to trial in October. He doesn't even have trial set for October. He has a status hearing. You know what a status hearing is? How are you doing? Do you need more time to review your discovery? You need any further resources? Do you need the state to allocate more money for you for a private investigator? That's a status hearing. Oh, we got motions. We like to file some motions. We like to get this done, this taken care of, whatever, certain stipulations we want to talk about. That's a status hearing. They're not going to court until next fall, next winter, as I told you guys. That's what I believe. They got all that time to re-indict this guy and charge him with the murder of a baby if they wanted to. They don't even have to charge him with the murder of a baby if they don't want to. It's all at the purview of the district attorney, regardless of what the law says. Every law on the planet says, as per the discretion of the district attorney. A district attorney does not have to arrest you for murder. A district attorney could decline a rape case. I see it every day. Here you go. Nope. Sorry, strategic. We're just not feeling the credibility of the witness. We don't think that we'll be able to get a prosecution done because of her credibility. Decline prosecution, called DP. That's the word. It's called DP, decline prosecution. And guess what? All the evidence shows that this guy most likely raped this person, but because maybe the person's credibility is all messed up, not going to trial. Rapist gone free. No record, no arrest, no nothing. They live their life. They never have to acknowledge that this person never made this allegations against them. That is the purview of a prosecutor. Every single day we see people using self-defense, shooting people on the side of the road, shooting people in their house, etc. If the prosecutor said, nope, I think it was self-defense, guess what? It's not a homicide. I mean, it's not a murder, it's a homicide. Everybody keeps it going. Everybody move along with the rest of their life. That person who just shot somebody goes back to work the next day, goes to Disneyland, lives their life. They don't ever have to think about it ever again unless they get civilly sued or something like that. So the prosecutor can add this charge at any time. And lastly, I want to hammer it in with you folks because I don't like being misconstrued with my words. I'm giving you guys a two-pronged ticket when it comes to the pregnancy. They may have thought she was pregnant. They may have thought she was pregnant. And if they thought that she was pregnant and they killed her because they thought she was pregnant, or Stephen Stearns killed her because he thought she was pregnant, just in case Jen had nothing to do with it, it's still the motive of the murder, pregnancy. It's still the motive. Whether it existed in reality or just in the mind of Stephen Stearns, it's still the motive. Anyway, let's go. I want you to hear the second menstrual question that happened 2 months later, guys. 2 months later, by the same team of detectives. They're still asking her, did you track her menstrual?
Is that a yes?
Yes.
So, do you remember her using any of those products at all in February? Because I assume you take the trash out, or does she take the trash out, or how does all this work?
I take the trash out. In February, no, I didn't notice her using any of her feminine hygiene products.
Did you have any conversations with her about that?
No, but I didn't notice until after everything.
Because it would have been due like at the beginning of February, and this all happens at the end of February, so she's almost due again in March. So you never had any conversations with her about not having her period at the beginning of February?
No, she's had other periods that have been missed or like super late, so I just assumed this was going to be one of those situations again.
Okay.
But no, I didn't.
Did you ever discuss her periods or lack of periods with Stefan?
I don't think so.
It's my understanding that Maddie had to take Miralax. I'm familiar with that myself because of my daughter when she was little. So she had constipation issues?
Yeah.
Would it ever cause her discomfort, physical pain, bleeding?
Yes.
And how are you aware of that?
She would tell me. There have been moments. So we've gone to doctor's appointments. They've run a lot of tests on her. They told me why her body is doing what it's doing. But she's shown me if there was blood, or if she's in the bathroom and she just can't go, like it's stuck. Mm-hmm. She showed me that too.
So in one interview, they asked her if you track the menstrual, and she says yes. And she says that she usually gets it in the beginning of the month or the end of the previous month, going into the beginning of the month, of the new month. And another one, she says, yes, she tracked her. Then they're like, well, didn't you find it a little weird that she didn't get her period in February? And then she's like, well, sometimes it comes late. Those are two different stories. One is a schedule. This little girl been getting her period since 11 years old. We got that up from previous releases, that she was an early bloomer and has been getting her period since 11 years old. She's now turning 13. That's like 2 solid years of her getting her period. And the mother in one interview is saying she gets it in the beginning of the month, or at the end of the month, going into the beginning of the month. And then another one, she's like, yeah, I track it. And then as soon as they challenge her on the fact that this girl didn't get her period, and she's having period issues in January, we found out she has period issues in January from the friend, and in February she didn't get the period at all. Well, then Jess says, well, sometimes it's late. It's whoever you want to believe. It's whoever you want to believe. All right? I'm not trying, listen, I love debate. It is what it is. I love debate, and I'm not God. And the last thing I want to do is use my platform as a bully platform. I don't like YouTubers personally in terms of what I view, not personally in terms of person to person. But I'm not a big fan of YouTubers who use their pulpit as a bully pulpit, where it's like, if you're in the chat and you don't agree with me, then it's like, screw you and whatever. I'm not about that life. We love debate on Strategic Eyes Social, long as it is respectful, because, of course, if it's not respectful, you get bounced. But listen, you could believe whatever you want to believe. I'm telling you, if they're asking her about her period, it's either two things. Either A, she was pregnant, and that DA can charge Stephen Stearns with that pregnancy anytime he wants. They still developing their case. They can do it anytime they want. There might also be political reasons why they're not charging him with that second one. For somebody in the chat to say they would have, you don't know nothing. You're not in that team. You're not in those rooms. You know nothing. Just like I know nothing. That's why I constantly say it's my theory and belief. And two, if he thought she was pregnant, if Madeline thought she was pregnant, like, oh my God, I'm gaining weight. She's a little girl. She doesn't know necessarily it's because she's bloated because of her constipation and her and the drugs that she take. I didn't get my period. I'm bloated. I feel sluggish. I feel off. Could I be pregnant? If Maddie thought she was pregnant, and if Maddie told Stephen Stearns or told her mother and her mother told Stephen Stearns and he took Maddie out because of that, he would not be charged with a second murder charge for an unborn child because that child didn't exist. But the motive is still pregnancy. The motive is still pregnancy if the mens rea of the murderer was that he was committing the crime because he believed that the child was pregnant. I'm still right. I'm still right. And at this point, it's very hard to figure out what's going on in Stephen Stearns' mind unless we can get information that shows what they were talking about. We do know he was upset. We know he was pissed off on Saturday night. And we also know that Maddie was very discombobulated and upset, and agitated on Saturday night. Something is a reason. Something is the reason. Nikki Scherer says, I don't think they even would make that comment if it wasn't a concern. Good point. Good point. All right. Told you guys I wanted to keep this a short live. I want to make it under an hour. We're at 51 minutes. You guys have been great. You guys have been usual awesome people. Really do appreciate you guys showing me the love that you do. For some reason, the bot has censored Kathy Connects. It's not our fault. Remember, we're still working through our bot. So I'm going to read out her comment because it's not a back. Oh, I tell you why. You can't put all caps. You can't put all caps. That's why the bot censored you. Too many emojis, all caps. The bot is going to punish you. Just put @strategiceyes, and then your comment will be highlighted in orange, and I'll catch it. Or, I'm not telling you what to do, but, you do a super chat. That supports the channel. It shows us love. And if you do a super chat, I am obligated to read it. There's no way I'm not going to read it. If I miss it, my moderators will text message me. They'll get my attention. They'll highlight it. And then we'll be able to go back to that comment. So those are the two ways. You can chance it by doing @strategiceyes. And if I see it, I'm going to read it because I'm not here, just for your super chats. I want to show people love. I love you guys. You guys are important to my show. But if I don't catch it, the super chat is the sure bet way to get my attention, and I'll read it out. But if you do all caps, then you're going to get blocked, and I'm not blocked, but you're going to get your message deleted, and I may not check that as I did with you. So Kathy says, strategic guys, she said in one recording that she didn't notice until after the fact. And that's the third story, and that's true. And to just elaborate on that, she didn't notice that Maddie had missed her period until Maddie was already dead. She was already dead. I just believe that they were tracking her period so that she doesn't get pregnant. And we're going to get into the whole Woody Allen thing, because the Woody Allen comment pretty much shows that she knew that her daughter was in a relationship with Stephen Stearns. And guess what? She wasn't interested in Stephen Stearns. She wasn't interested in him. I mean, he's not much to be interested in. She gave it a chance, But what she found was somebody to keep her daughter occupied so she could do what's best for her, which is she care about herself. That's all she wanted. Jen wanted to care about herself. That's it. Jen didn't care about Maddie. Jen cared about Jen. And what Stephen Stern offered her was an outlet by which she can have Maddie occupied with and not have to deal with Maddie. She basically threw Maddie onto Jen, or threw Jen on, onto Jen, onto Stephen, or threw Stephen onto Maddie. You take care of her. You occupy her. So I don't have to. Very, very, very sad stuff. Guys, please hit that like button, support the channel. Hit the like button, support the channel. Big shout out to everybody who gave us super chats and super stickers and all that good stuff. You guys are amazing. We really do appreciate the support that you give the channel. Big shout out to the 8 people who decided to become members for the Strategic Eyes show. Let's make that 9. Trisha Homer's now a member, a recruit. Thank you so much, Trisha, for joining the family. Wow, you guys are amazing. I think we had a really good show today. Buttercup says, yeah, I called it live. I'm happy that you were able to join us. Big shout out to our moderators. Aki's in the building, was doing a job. M. Kathy's in the building too. Sorry about that, guys. I'm starting to get a lot of phone calls, so I'm going to cut the live short, and then we have some connectivity issues. I see you guys on the next one. You guys are amazing. Please make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. Please make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you comment. For the replay crew, please comment. Put some comments inside of the comment section so we can get that engagement up. We also have merchandise. Please consider going to the Strategic Eyes store, and getting you some merchandise. And thank you so much, everybody, for your support. I'll see you guys on the next one. Join me on Sunday. Sunday, at some point, we'll definitely drop the show. You find out what time, but make sure you join me on Sunday. Sunday will be a call-in show. See you guys on the next one. Strategic is out of here. Peace.